Wang Lin, was he truly a genius? Or was he just a cultivator who walked the most grueling and painful path to the top? When we look back on his journey from a mocked youth to the peak of the heavenly realm, one thing becomes clear. Wang Lin wasn't a genius by birth, but he was a genius forged by suffering, perception, persistence, and a bit of fate. So how long did he spend at each realm? And how many years did it take him to reach the heavenly realm? Let's break it all down. At the very beginning, Wang Lin's talent was considered trash. He had no spiritual roots, no special background, and no unique physique. He was mocked by Situnan, scorned by others, and even rejected by the Hingyu sect, an entry-level sect in the cultivation world. Eventually, he was reluctantly accepted as a registered disciple, the lowest of the low. It took Wang Lin 5 full years to reach the Qi Condensation stage. At this time, he was already 20 years old, a late bloomer in every sense. If he continued at that pace, reaching the foundation establishment stage would have taken him another 80 years. However, Wang Lin's story wasn't destined to follow a linear path. With the help of Tian Nizhu, and by using the method of seizing the foundation, Wang Lin captured the cultivation base of Tengli and broke through. He reached the foundation establishment stage at the age of 23, a huge leap forward. But this was just the beginning. From foundation establishment to core formation, Wang Lin spent another 80 years. By then, he was over 100 years old. It was at this point he famously declared, "I am invincible below the nascent soul." It sounded confident, even arrogant, but in reality, others his age were far ahead. For example, Hongdia, his peer, had already reached the great perfection of spirit transformation. By comparison, Wang Lin still seemed painfully slow. But time was never the true measure of Wang Lin's path. What he lacked in talent, he made up for with monstrous comprehension. It took him 300 more years to break into the nascent soul stage. He was now 400 years old. For an ordinary cultivator, this might be acceptable. But it was clear that Wang Lin's progress required intense focus, sacrifice, and a deep understanding of the Tao. He cultivated day and night, rarely resting, rarely enjoying any peace. Then things started to shift. The cultivation stages from nascent soul to spirit transformation and onward to infant transformation no longer depended solely on effort. They required enlightenment and encounters with fate, things far beyond mere practice. These were the stages where comprehension began to outweigh talent. And in this domain, Wang Lin was unmatched. He spent only 70 years reaching the spirit transformation stage. By then, he was 470 years old. He entered the infant transformation stage at 630, which required vast resources, especially immortal jades. Unlike others, Wang Lin had forged powerful relationships, gathered opportunities, and built the means to support his path. His network became as valuable as his strength. Eventually, he left Zhuge Star and became a disciple of Tianyunzi, one of the true powerhouses of the world. In the land of demon spirits, Wang Lin comprehended the state of reversal and had a massive breakthrough. He was now 800 years old. From this point, his cultivation soared. He spent 200 years to reach the peak of the first step of cultivation, the Yin Shu Yangshi realm, at the age of 1000. Here, cultivation took a different form. It no longer relied on absorbing spiritual energy, but instead focused on drawing immortal power. From now on, talent was no longer the key. The environment and one's comprehension became the deciding factors. Wang Lin always chose the most suitable places to cultivate, and he adapted quickly to the demands of each realm. At 1,300 years old, he entered the nirvana stage. At 1500, he advanced into pure nirvana. At 1700, he reached shattered nirvana, marking the peak of the second step of cultivation. Most cultivators would have stopped here. After all, breaking into the third step requires one to absorb Yuanli, the original power of the heavens and earth, something seen as untouchable by nearly everyone. But Wang Lin wasn't most people. Despite the difficulty, Wang Lin pushed forward. His ambition had no limits. He spent 300 years to reach the threshold of the third step, and finally, at 2,000 years old, Wang Lin broke through to the Kong Ni stage. By 2,400, he entered Kong Ling. At 2,800, he broke into Kongshuan, the peak of the third step. Still, his journey wasn't over. To move beyond this realm, he had to overcome the legendary Nineshuan tribulations, from Kongshuan to Kongji. Wang Lin succeeded again. At 3,000, he reached the peak of Kongji. At 3,200, he entered the realm of the Great Heavenly Venerable, where he could wield the rules of heaven and earth themselves. But Wang Lin's final breakthrough was still ahead. He spent another 500 years comprehending reincarnation, crossing the 9 heavenly bridges, and reaching the end of the Tao. At the age of 3,600, Wang Lin entered the heavenly realm, the highest peak of cultivation. Let that sink in. From a teenager scorned as useless, to a godlike figure who understood the fabric of life, reincarnation, and cosmic law. It took him 3,600 years of relentless effort, deep comprehension, unmatched perseverance, and unshakable will. Wang Lin's journey teaches us something profound. Being born a genius isn't everything. Natural talent may open the door, but it's perception, persistence, and unyielding determination that write the story of true greatness. He wasn't fast, he wasn't lucky all the time, but he never stopped moving forward, and that is what makes Wang Lin a true genius. Wang Lin's story is not just about cultivation, it's about perseverance, resilience, and the strength to rise after being labeled a failure. His journey reminds us that even without natural gifts, one can still reach unimaginable heights through comprehension, hard work, and unwavering resolve. If you enjoyed diving deep into Wang Lin's cultivation path, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts or favorite moment in his journey, and subscribe for more powerful stories from the world of Donghua and cultivation epics. Thank you for watching, and remember, true strength isn't just inherited, it's earned. See you in the next video.